Welcome back to another weekly wealth walk. I want to talk to you today about inflation, right? So this has been a topic that I've addressed before, but it's been going on for years. Like inflation started first becoming a thing in 2020. We started really talking about it. Then 2021 happened. We talked about it more. The world was going to end. 2022 happened. It was a thing. We're still talking about it, right? So what is inflation? People think inflation is the prices of things increased. Right? So the prices of things increase, sure, but it's not like they got more valuable, more expensive, right? So when we look at inflation, we say, okay, well, the price of a house went up. Think about this. The house is now older, right? It's not any better or any different, right? And so why would the price of the house go up? If you look at an older home, like it's actually dilapidated. The wood is older, the floors are creaky, you're gonna have to fix the roof. Why in the world did that thing get more expensive? It's not because it got more valuable. So this is where we have to detach price and value. This is my thought on this. So inflation is actually an increase in the money supply. So here's my bottle. Okay, my film crew hates it when I have my bottle in the shop, but I'm gonna use it as an example. So let's say that I fill this up with my First Form pre-workout powder, right? And I fill it up halfway with water, halfway with powder. Okay, it's gonna taste pretty strong. Okay, think about this with your dollar. If I've got more value and less currency in existence, it's going to be potent, it's going to be strong, it's going to have very high buying power. I would take one sip of this and that's it. I'm good for a while, right? Or you think about it like coffee, same thing, really strong coffee. You don't need to gulp the whole thing down. Really strong alcohol. I'm not a drinker, but if you drink like 90 proof vodka or something like that, you don't need a bunch of it. You just need a little bit, right? So we start adding water to this, right? We had it filled up halfway. We had a full serving of the powder. We start adding water. What happens? It dilutes the potency. This is not complex stuff. This is basic. Like when you were 5 playing with mud and water in the backyard, you learned this, right? The more water you add in, the clearer it gets. So you start diluting the potency of it. And now it's like, okay, I can handle the whole bottle. It's not as strong. Where if I dilute the coffee? Same thing. I hate watered down coffee. Okay, I also hate watered down currency. So when we do things like on an individual level, we spend and spend and spend and spend and spend with money that we don't even have to the degree that we're borrowing it, we actually cause inflation, right? We put more money into the marketplace. We put more money into the economy. It drives the prices up, okay? So when there are more dollars than goods, the prices of those goods increase. When there are more goods than dollars, the prices of those goods decrease because they're competing for a smaller pool of dollars. Hey, what's up? Jerry here. I just wanted to give you another reminder. Grab my book, Blueprint to Financial Freedom. It's going to be one of the best books you have ever read on finance. I can promise you that. You're going to love it. It's also a free offer. So if you go to jerryfetta.com/B2F promo, you can get that now. So what happened in the last 3 years? Look at this. We had COVID happen. All of a sudden, free money. Okay, you get $1,200, like Oprah here, you get $1,200, you get $1,200, you get $1,200, free money. If you were a business, the average was like $6,000, right? We have these organizations taking giant subsidy loans. And what happened first? Look at this. They kept them on their balance sheets. So you saw assets go up. You saw stocks coming up, real estate coming up, because these were staying in the institution's pockets. Their holdings went up, their cash balances went up, right? So you have this growth, more dollars entered the picture. It's like a hose, whatever you point those dollars at, that's what's going to get wet, right? So that's what went up. Then these businesses start spending that money into the economy, and then the individual starts getting those dollars as a result. So we start getting dollars, we start getting loans, we start getting subsidies. Now we at an individual level start spending. Okay, like the whole COVID loan thing. I know people that committed fraud with it, where they got their COVID loan and they bought a Lambo with it, right? Well, that just inflated the value of that Lambo. The price went up. People are buying things. Right? So we have an existence of more currency right now and less goods. And if you think about it, especially people couldn't go to work. They couldn't produce. They were shutting down mines. They were shutting down stores. They were shutting down businesses. So we have a bunch of currency and a very little amount of product happening that's actually limited. Of course, the prices went up. Of course, we had inflation. Not only did we increase the pool of currency, we decreased the amount of production happening to absorb that currency. So the prices came up. Now what's happening? People work again. Right? The Fed, the government, they started limiting the amount of money they're printing, and they started raising interest rates and trying to cool things down. So now we have the inverse effect. Interest rates are coming up. We've got, housing prices starting to come down, stock prices starting to come down. Consumer goods will soon follow. Right? Now, between the two, guys, I would rather have inflation than deflation. Okay, deflation is when you get bread lines. Let me just explain this to you. My thoughts on this is inflation. There's more currency in existence, right? So why don't we just go get some of it? That's the game. There's more water, go get more of it. There's more currency, go get more of it. Sure, things got more expensive, but as long as you increase the rate of it that you earned beyond the rate of it that the supply increased, then you're going to do just fine. Okay, real estate went up by 20%. Cool. If my income went up by 20%, I don't care. You see that? Now, here's the problem with deflation. We start having like we have now, interest rates coming up, prices are coming down. Okay, well, it gets to a point where we're a business, for example, prices are coming down and they say, okay, well, we're trying to compete for a limited pool of dollars. We've got to lower our prices. Well, what happens? We're bringing in less revenue now. So because we're bringing in less revenue, that business now is less profitable. Because that business is less profitable, they've got to lay off staff. They've got to reduce their space, right? They've got to shrink and they've got to actually contract in order to operate in a climate where there's less money available. Okay, and this is where you start seeing, the Great Depression, mass layoffs, prices start coming down, jobs start dropping, people start being unemployed, there's less money available. So it's not the same game at this point, right? And so I would rather see inflation than deflation. Now, here's how you handle it. I don't want to just give you my thoughts on a problem and then be like, cool, go enjoy life now with this giant problem I just gave you. If you're in inflation, you need to go get more of it and you need to increase your income. Right? If you're in deflation, you need to have reserves, first off, and then you need to be really, really skilled at getting income. Like you need to be to the point where, you have to look at just the layout of it. People have less money. They're going to be tighter with their pockets. They're not going to want to spend. So you need to be that much better at getting the job, getting the raise, making the sale. Whatever the thing is you do to get income, you need to be that much more skilled at it. Okay. Now check this out. Enter the equation of AI. Right? You already need to be really good at getting money because there's a scarcity of it in a deflationary environment. But now you have a situation where, let's say you're a book writer. I just wrote a book in 6 hours on Monday this week. And the number one question I was asked, which AI program did you use to write that? I didn't use AI. I used my brain. Right? But we're in this now economy and environment of you just tell the AI to write a book, it's going to write a book. So if you're not a really good writer, what makes you better than the robot? Right? If you do copywriting for a business, like what makes you better than an AI? If you do podcasts and content, there will be a day and age where AI produces a voice and it produces a face. What makes you better than the AI? And so then we have to be really good. Like human beings need to be better than the robot. Hey, you want to see a magic trick? Get a copy of my book, Blueprint to Financial Freedom. I know it's in front of my chest and my face because I want you focusing on the book and not me for a moment before you go back to focusing on me and the content. We need to be better than the AI. And I'm pointing this out to show you, you have to be focused on increasing your value right now. Okay, prices are down, right? The money supply is tightening up. Interest rates are going up, all these things. So good, you need to add more value. You need to be in a position in your life where you can be so valuable that people will throw money at you anyways, even though it's scarce, even though their pockets are tight. Okay, so if you watch my business, I'm very transparent with this. If you watch my business, we've improved the value of our content. We've improved quality. We're giving away free courses. We're writing books and giving away we're donating money. We're doing everything we can to give away free value because at some point that exchange will happen, right? So, and maybe you're not a business owner. You're like, well, Jerry, that's great, but I have a job. Okay, I'm a W-2. I'm an hourly worker. Great. Do a better job. Like be the better employee. Be the number one person in that business. Be unfireable. Be promotable. Like all these things come back on you and I, right? So in an inflationary environment, it's on you. Go earn more income. There's more money to be had. Go get more money. In a deflationary environment, it's on you. Do you have reserves and can you increase your value to get even more money when things aren't flowing as much? That's how I think the environment is right now. This is how I would handle it. If you need help with these things, reach out to my team. Hey, this is Jerry Fetta here. I want to thank you for watching my video, watching my content. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to learn more about the Blueprint to Financial Freedom and how you can achieve passive income that exceeds your savings, your expenses, your taxes, your generosity, and build wealth like the top 1%, I want to encourage you, grab a copy of my book, The Blueprint to Financial Freedom. You can go to jerryfetta.com/B2F promo, or you can click the link in the description of the video here. The copy is free. You cover your shipping. We'll send the book out to you, and we'll send you an email with a bunch of great bonus material also for free. Get the book, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on my next content.